Hello and welcome to datingwebsites.org. My name is Kat Richter, and this week I'll be answering a question from one of our bloggers, Justine. Justine writes, "In online dating, I seem to attract a lot of situations that either fizzle or blatantly fail when it comes to romantic success. After a few emails, maybe an invitation from someone new, I'll often come to an assessment that sounds something like, he's okay, maybe, I guess, or, well, at least he probably isn't on parole or living in his mother's basement where he reigns as the regional halfling champion in World of Warcraft. Am I being too hard on people, or am I somehow just attracting undesirables? Through my amateur attempts at off-the-cuff psychoanalysis, there does seem to be a tendency where people are easily dismissive of one another in the online format. I try to be conscious of this, but after having a couple of attempts at coffee where I either end up forcing myself to carry a conversation or, on the other hand, trying to divert leers and suggestive comments I find inappropriate for an initial meeting, I wonder what the greater problem here might be. Why do these potential dates tend to fall short? Who is the culprit? What do we do about it? What might be the underlying meaning causing these sorts of disconnects?" Well, Justine, these are some great questions. I'll start by saying you're not alone. With online dating, everything leads us to believe that it's a foolproof process. Unfortunately, it's not that simple as you're finding out. There are plenty of undesirables out there, and, as you also noted, we do have a tendency to jump to conclusions. So it's a two-part problem. The first has to do with numbers. The number of profiles lead us to believe that the possibilities are endless, and this is especially true if you live in or near a large city. Even if you're picky in terms of what you're looking for, be it a man of a certain height or with a certain educational background or a certain hobby, you can still end up with hundreds of choices. And this forces us to make judgments because in order to avoid being overwhelmed by how many people are out there and how many people are contacting us, we have to just really quickly decide yes or no. And so unfortunately we end up being pretty shallow in our assessments of people. We also feel like we have so many options that if man A doesn't work out, well, we can just move on to man B. So rather than giving man A a little bit more of a chance and getting to know him, we just kind of like, okay, done with him, moving on because I've got 7 other guys in my inbox. The second part of this problem is our expectations. If you met someone in the real world, say at a coffee shop or at a bookstore, and you decided to go out, you would exchange numbers, and you would meet up a week later, and that would be it. With online dating, when you first meet someone, you have the chance to look at their vacation photos, to read where they went to school, to obsess over their hobbies and their degree of education or whatever the case may be. So we build these people up in our minds before we've even actually met them. When you meet someone in the real world, unless you're a complete, Google stalker, you don't necessarily have that same access to information about them. So it's harder to build everything up in your mind as much as we do with online dating. So that said, I think there's a few things that you should do. The first is to just keep trying. Eventually you will meet someone who is not, living in his mother's basement. And you also want to start giving the shy guys a second chance. Maybe you do feel like you're the one making all the effort in terms of conversation, but it can take people a little while to open up, especially if you're more of an extrovert and they're not. So don't snap to quick judgments if you can avoid it. The second thing you want to try is planning some more activity-based dates, such as, ice skating or rock climbing or going to a museum. This will take some of the conversational pressure off of you and allow you to just enjoy yourself, which is really what you should be doing at this phase. So try to stop evaluating your potential suitors while you're out together and concentrate on simply enjoying yourself. You'll have a lot more fun, and you'll probably find someone if you try it that way as well. So good luck and happy dating.